As many of you know, I moved on my own just a few weeks ago. Making only a senior in high school's paycheck, I've had to find different ways to furnish my apartment. I visited furniture stores here in town such as McGann's and Slumberland. Many of the furniture pieces range from $3,000 to $400. I had to do some research and had found many ways to do this expensive task without breaking the bank. First, I did some research on how to do this since I had never furnished an apartment before. The numbers I found were astonishing on how much everything costs nowadays. As you can see, a new mattress costs $700 on average, a comforter $100, and then if you just keep going down the list, a shower curtain costs $20. I think that's ridiculous because you can find it cheaper anywhere else. MyFirstApartment.com states that these numbers are the average amount people spend on these furniture items and necessities. Unless you want to sit on pillows to eat your dinner and watch Netflix on the floor, I suggest you do some of these things to start out. Since everything is so expensive and we are all so young, it's best to start out looking in other areas besides furniture stores. I started by searching through a little group a lot of us are in called Buy, Sell, and Trade on Facebook. You may think the site is a place to get rid of your unwanted junk, but it can be a great tool to get cheap and even free furniture. If you do a quick run through of the page for even 5 minutes of your time, you can find many items that you need in the Baraboo area. I have found a brand new bed, a couch, a chair, a desk, coffee tables, and a small entertainment center, all for under $25. Local thrift stores are also a great place to look, such as Bethesda's and St. Vinny's. I found certain necessities I needed that cost way less than going to a store, such as cooking utensils, area rugs, and a small dining table, which I would like to add I spent less than $50 on. All of my costs put together cost less than the pots and pans set on the My First Apartment list. That's kind of outstanding. Garage sales are also a huge hit this time of year, and most people will give you a very decent deal if you're looking for a bargain. Local resources are all around you. All you need to do is search a little deeper to find exactly what you need. People are always willing to help you. Moneyforyour20.com states many tips on what to do when you're in a bind and can't afford these things. I have talked about before because possibly rent is way too high. One of the best tips I found was to borrow and beg. People have different things laying around their house they do not use anymore and are just taking up space. Even if the furniture they give you is unappealing, spray paint it. It's really cheap and really easy to do. I spray painted my desk and some of the chairs that I have because they were just really ugly. It's not very expensive and it can go a long way. On another note, old box TVs still work. I know it's hard to believe, but they do. Many people have them laying around and don't know what to do with them. So if you can live without that flat screen, I'd do it because it's a lot cheaper. Family members also have many kitchen supplies hanging around, so don't be afraid to ask about that too. Asking friends and family is one of the best ways I've accumulated many of the other things in my home. People love giving away their old junk, and if you can use it, that's even better. Decorating is a key role in furnishing your apartment, and what makes your apartment, well, your apartment. StyleAtHome.com has a lot of neat ways you can add your own personal touch to your place. One idea I found was making old wine bottles into vases for fake flowers. Mine were not as extravagant as this, but they were kind of like it. I just painted over with one color. All I had to do was find an empty bottle, and I bought a small tube of paint for like 57 cents at Walmart. You can put these all over your home depending on like what kind of style you're going for. I put some in my bathroom and some in my room and like in the living room. And then some other ideas I found were making paintings out of like a 2-liter bottle. That was really cheap too. I just used some of the leftover paint I had. And then cutting out letters and making like a phrase on your wall out of magazines. I got some magazines from Mr. Hosley when we were doing a project, so that's cheap to do. And then I have this in my bathroom. I did like an old picture frame and I put clothesline with clothespins and then I put pictures on them. So that was a neat way to do it instead of getting a ton of picture frames. Okay, let's head back to furniture. Many of the pieces I have look like something off of that 70s show with all the big flowers and everything. So I wanted to cover them up to match my bright color theme I have. I decided to do some research on that as well. eHow has an article that has tips as well how to decorate your apartment. On the couch, however, you can put throw pillows, small blankets to cover up the top of your couch, and I even got a fitted sheet to put around my whole entire couch because it's easy and you can do any color you want. You can use many of these tips to make your apartment stand out to you. I didn't like sleeping at my apartment until I started decorating. With a little decorating, you can make your apartment feel like home. There are many ways you can furnish your home on a budget. Only a few I actually talked about today. I have gained a lot of knowledge on saving money from this experience and hope you learned a thing or two before you all have to take the big leap as well. Even though it can be very expensive sometimes, furnishing your apartment can be very fun for you, to get to know your community better also. Look around local thrift stores or buy, sell, and trade for furniture. Ask what people have laying around their house that they can give you. And decorate your apartment to your liking is the best tips I can give you right now. When you leap out into the big world on your own, I hope you remember some of these tips before spending thousands of dollars on new items.